Welcome back, Ballers. And previously on Ballers on the Budget, we recapped the Week 14 in the NFL. Today, we're throwing out our picks. If you follow the social media, you'll notice I already had the Thursday, which was in the recap. In hindsight, I should have added the 3 Saturday games to that, but this is a weird NFL week. We don't always have Saturday games. So, we'll throw out our recaps out there. I know 4 matchups have already played in the NFL, but I'll give you my bets. I want to mention how good I'm doing, but I won't. I'll save that for the recap, and we'll look at the results of the whole bet for the week. But let's go ahead and get into it. I will mention them at least. Thursday night was San Fran at Seattle. Again, I had San Fran covering the spread of 3 and the under of 43. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's already played. We'll save the rest for the recaps. On Saturday, we had one of them, Miami at Buffalo. Insanely good game. I can't wait to recap this. I had Miami plus 7 and the over at 44. Buffalo money line. Sorry, I had San Fran money line too. I keep forgetting that I have to shout out my money line because it's not obvious. But the graphics will. It'll be obvious what I'm selecting in the graphics. So, next game after that, we also had Baltimore visiting Cleveland and playing. I had Baltimore covering the spread of plus 3, but Cleveland winning the game money line and the under at 38. And then the craziest game of the week already. I can already say that because this game was ridiculous. I didn't even get to watch this game, but I will say, with it being a Saturday, I didn't get to watch all of them. Got to watch 2 of them. This game I didn't get to watch. I thought it was going to be a blowout on the opposite side. I checked ESPN, and I thought the score was so lopsided, I thought ESPN messed up. I went to another source to check the score because I didn't believe ESPN. You know how terrible ESPN. You and I both know. It's awful. So I went to a different site to double check the score, and that was accurate. And then that's when I started sending out text messages like, yo, what's going on with this game? I'm not watching it, but why is it like this? And then I had a couple people fill me in text-wise and stuff. Crazy game. I had a Minnesota minus 4. I had Minnesota money line, and I had the over at 47.5. Again, you guys aren't dumb. You guys can put 2 and 2 together and see how I did on these before the recap video. But I'm going to save my results. They're nice so far. So far, they're nice. Thursday and Saturday, we're sitting pretty. Check the social media. Check the posts. I have a graphic for every single matchup individually, so it's easy to look at them, easy to read, and then easy to track. And then I'll release the results page. Exact same thing. I'm just throwing up correct or wrong. Easy for me to go back, double check my record if I need to, but I won't need to because I'm doing it weekly. I'll throw it out to you guys weekly. Let's get on with the Sunday games. Obviously, they have yet to play. They'll probably be playing by the time you guys watch this because I'm going to release it at noon. Game start at 1. I'm releasing it at around noon, so be ready. Anyways, first up, we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the New Orleans Saints. This one's very interesting to me because Desmond Ridder is starting for Atlanta. So both teams not great quarterbacks. Desmond, we don't know yet. So we'll have to hold out. But Atlanta, the faultiest team there can possibly be outside the Texans. You don't know what you're going to get with this Atlanta team week to week. You just have no idea. And with Desmond Ridder stepping in and being the quarterback, we don't know. We thought they were set with Mariota. We thought we liked them, but apparently not. For this one, I'm taking the New Orleans minus 4. Saints have this thing to where they'll just look completely embarrassing and then come back and squeak out a win. Look completely embarrassing again and then come back and squeak out a win. I don't get it, but I don't get either of these teams. Neither of these teams are going. These teams are just lucky they're in a bad division right now, led by the Bucs. So I'm taking the New Orleans Saints minus 4. I'm taking Saints money line, and I'm taking the under at 43.5. Neither Falcons defense is bad. But Saints defense is decent, I want to say. But I just don't think either team. The under at 43, this one scares me. I took it anyways. It scares me. It's rocky. Moving on. Next up, New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. Another shaky one. Interdivision. They tied last time. This game is important. Its playoff implications written all over it already. Daniel Jones, Saquon, obviously we know what we're getting with the Giants. Even the Giants' defense has been pretty good lately. Washington, on the other hand, Washington's rush defense is incredible. Their offense with Taylor Heineke, Hero Heineke, they're getting it done. And I have them getting it done today. So I'm taking Washington money line, but I'm having the Jets cover the plus 4.5 spread because I think this is going to be a field goal to 2-point game. So that's my prediction. I had the over at 40.5. I think it's just going to be a real back and forth. Like I know I just mentioned both defenses, but this is an interdivision. So I had to choose. Are they going to come out here and shoot out, or are they going to come out here and play a 10-7 game? I don't see either of these teams playing a 10-7 game unless they're getting blown out by an elite team. So these teams, they're going to start slinging it. They'll sling it over 40.5. Lock it up. Next up, we got the Eagles at Chicago. Again, we know which team's going to win. I took Eagles money line. Who isn't? 99% of the world is taking the Eagles money line. The spread 6 at -9. And I'm taking Philly for that as well. I'm taking Philly to cover 9.5. 9, sorry. They got Justin Fields back. Chase Claypool's still up in the air. We don't know if he's going to play yet. But, I mean, Chicago's season is done. They're going to go in there. They're going to let Justin Fields not throw the ball. They're going to let him run the ball. And then Philly's obviously going to score on 80% of their possessions. So I'm taking the over at 48.5 with those mentioned as well. Ooh. All right, moving on. Detroit at the Giants. This is another interesting one. Detroit's been insanely hot lately for whatever reason. Jared Goff slinging the ball like he's back with Sean McVay. Before Sean McVay realized, okay, we got to reel him in and get someone else. Will Detroit realize that too? I think they know he's not the quarterback they want, but they know he's a serviceable quarterback. They're making it work. I think they're on 4 wins in a row right now. And Jets, on the other hand, last game, I felt bad for Mike White. That dude was getting beat up every time he was out there. It looked like he was just taking hard hits to the ribs and everything else. And then he's a baller. I mean, the dude wanted to play. He kept coming in and playing. So, I mean, dude's a baller. But he's out this game, unfortunately. We do have Zach Wilson, though. Zach Wilson against this Detroit Lions defense. I know the Lions can get after the quarterback pretty decent. Adrian Hutchinson, the rookie, I mean, he's a beast. But the secondary for the defense at Lions, it's terrible. Lions have no defense, so we'll see if they can even stop them. I have the over at 44.5, like I just mentioned. Jets have a good defense. Sauce Gardner, certified dog. I mean, but you can only lock up one receiver at a time with Sauce Gardner. The score's going to go through the roof. I'm taking over at 44.5, and I'm taking Detroit to win the game money line, and I'm taking Detroit. Hold on. Let me double check this because my sheet doesn't make sense. Oh, it does. I'm taking Detroit plus 1.5. I obviously have them covering the spread, so I have them winning it, so they're going to cover that. So yeah, Detroit plus 1.5. This is an upset money line wise that I'm taking, so hopefully it pays off. I don't believe in Zach Wilson, neither does the team. So the morale is on a roller coaster right now, and right now their main guy they like, White, is injured. Who comes in? The MILF Hunter Wilson that nobody likes. Yeah, they all got to be a team. They got to play as a team. But no, the energy is not going to be there. Watch it. Pittsburgh at Carolina. Last Pittsburgh game really let me down. They were close, but didn't quite get there. And that was the main. It was stuck in my head. I couldn't get away from it. Like, Pittsburgh has screwed me on a decent amount. Like, I've been very close. Weirdly, my bets toward Pittsburgh have been pretty decent, pretty solid. But they screwed me the last two. So that was stuck in my head, and I'm taking Carolina strictly for that reason. I mean, Pickett's out. Pickett got injured. I think concussion protocol, I do believe. Mitch Trubisky comes in. He throws 3 picks. He starts today. How many picks do you think he's throwing? 4-3 again. It's Mitch Trubisky. I mean, come on. And the way this Steelers offense is built, they take shots. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. They're going to take shots. But it's Mitch Trubisky. You don't want taking those shots because he will deliver it to the other team. With Carolina, I do believe Sam Darnold's still getting the start. I know that's been a fucking carousel all year, but Sammy D didn't look too bad last week. We're getting him again this week. The run game's going to be on point. Pittsburgh's defense is going to need to step up if they want something. I'm taking Carolina money line, Carolina -3, and the under at 37.5. I think that's the bright spot on both teams by far is their defenses. So look for the under. I think the only thing the over is going to hit is if we get some huge explosive plays. Like Deontay Johnson, 87-yard touchdown maybe. It's stuff. I do not see it happening, though. I see chunk plays, 3 and outs, 7 and outs even. I mean, no yardage, not much yardage. Watch for it. I guarantee I should have made a bet outside of that for under yardage because it's going to happen. Next up is Dallas at Jacksonville. This one, with Dallas, they're a top team. They're top 3. Don't tell me they're not. They are. But for some reason, Dallas wants to always play down to their competition. They can hang in there with the best of them. If it's Eagles versus Cowboys, it's going to be a damn good matchup down to the final possession. But yet, then they play Houston, and that's also down to the last possession. This team's all over the place. Their defense is putting up 30 points on one game, and then they're barely squeaking out a win against Houston. They're all over the place. But the only thing that is known is they're top 3. They have to be. The way they get after this ball, the way they can guard downfield, and then you turn around and look at their offense, they got it on both sides. Can they get out of their own way to get this shit going? I think they will. I personally think they will. I know there's a lot of memes getting shared. Everyone shits on Dallas. It's just a thing. It's like a tradition. When Dallas starts, it's memes of We Dem Boys and Super Bowl 30 years ago or whatever. Like, that's just what comes with the Cowboy Nation. But I've been high on the Cowboys this year. So I'm taking Dallas again. I'm taking Dallas -4. Dallas money line, just to make that clear. Over at 48. Jacksonville is another team that's been all over the damn place. You don't know how they're going to play. Probably, if I got down into the stats, I think Jacksonville may be the team I've lost most money on. Outside of the Browns, because my biases kind of take over when I'm betting on the Browns. But Jacksonville, I can't get them down. I don't know. What the hell are they going to do? What's their identity? You tell me. Exactly. Like, shit. Over at 48. Jacksonville got it turned on last week. Maybe some consistency follows, but they're playing a great defense, and that's the only problem. Dallas has a good defense, but I still think it's going to be a shootout. Like I said, Dallas kind of plays down to their competition. I don't think their offense is going to falter. They can run the ball all day, always have. Pollard, Zeke, they got it there. It's just a matter, I think their defense is going to be a little leaky. Maybe because Jacksonville just needs to keep slinging the ball. You can only do so much. The more the defense is out there, the more tired they get. So, lock it up. Next up, Kansas City at Houston. I don't like double-digit spreads. Never have. But I'm taking Houston plus 14. The spread's at 14. I love Kansas City. We all know they're going to win. I'm taking Kansas City money line. But the problem with that is, once Kansas City gets up so high, their offense will start slowing down. And then Houston just proved they can at least hang in and be competitive at least. Maybe Houston stays competitive. Kansas City knows they have it in the bag. There's no need to go out there and hang 55 on them and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think Kansas City it's postseason approaching here soon. It's the worst team in the league. You're one of the best as Kansas City. So I think maybe Andy Reid plays it very smart, reels back Kelsey a little bit once they start getting up. That's the stuff they need to do. Start conserving. Don't take extra risks that are unnecessary for the postseason. I have Kansas City money line, Houston covering plus 14. If it was plus 10, I probably would have taken the Chiefs. But plus 14, I had to take Houston. I give them credit what they did last week against Dallas. They didn't win. You're still the worst team. But I'll give you a little pat on the back. The under at 49. Like I mentioned, I just don't think this game's going to be insanely offensively explosive. I think if Andy Reid's going to do anything, they're going to chunk downfield, take what they can get, and then just make sure they get the win in the bag without taking any more unnecessary risks. Next up, Arizona at Denver. Arizona, Kyler Murray's out. So that leaves Colt McCoy or Trace McSorley. That leaves a bad taste in anybody's mouth, even their own mouth. When the coach yells, "Hey, Colt McCoy, you're up." Colt McCoy's like, "Ugh." He's calling his bookie. He's betting against against himself, okay? No offense, I still have a little tiny sliver in my heart for Colt McCoy since he was a Brown. But, when you're skipping the ball to people off the turf, you can't do it. And it doesn't look like his skills improved too much. Yeah, he's in a better system, yes, but not too much better. It's Arizona. And then Denver. Denver's defense is still top dog right now. And then last week, I think they scored the total of their points was 28 points. That's the highest they had all season. Russ is starting to cook. Finally, Russ, he's over there cooking. And all year, it's Gordon Ramsay yelling in his face. You suck. You're terrible. That kind of stuff. Finally, Russ, last week, he gets the hint. His food's garbage. Let me add a little bit of seasoning. Gordon Ramsay's still yelling at him, but let's add a little bit of seasoning. Your game's a little better. You mix up your flavors. That's what it looked like Russ Wilson did last week. Their season's done. It doesn't matter. But with this game, they're playing Arizona that's injured. Their number one quarterback is out for the season. And while he was riding off in the cart, he didn't look too sad about it. I think he's excited to go home, prop his leg up, get the surgeries he needs, whatever. He's got his pain pills. And then he gets to play the video game all day. He has that built-in excuse. The team's not going to be calling him like, "Hey, did you watch some game film?" Be like, "Yo, Doc, I'm not playing anytime soon. I'm done for the season. My agent and doctor said just chill it out the rest of the year. There's nothing I can do." That's a built-in excuse. What do I do when I call off work and I'm homesick or something? I'm probably playing a little bit of the video game because I have all this time on my hands. It's not a strenuous activity. I sit down and use my thumbs. It looked like Murray was like, It looked like he was trying to put up a front, like he was a little disappointed that he's going to be out. But then in the end, he's probably going back to the locker room like, man, I get to work on that KD. Anyways, I'm taking Denver -3. Like I said, Russ is finally using some spices with that cooking. I'm taking the over at 37. The total's just so low. so low it scared me to even take it. Like I said, Broncos finally got it going offensively. I think they're going to try to ride that momentum and prove this team isn't all defense. That's what they want to prove. Defense has been mad at the offense because defense has been making plays, given the offense opportunities, and the offense hasn't been cashing in on those opportunities. I think this is the game. Last week they showed that it's possible that the offense can start clicking. Now, this game, we need to start some consistency with the offense. Maybe then the defense will hop off the backs of the offense. Like, we've seen the defensive player yell at Russ Wilson, go out there and do something. Make what they did count. I think this is the game that they actually do that again. I think it's a stomping by the Denver Broncos, really. Luckily, the spread's only at 3, so I'm taking Denver -3 over 37. I think Denver puts up another 25, 28 themselves, okay? Arizona, I don't know. They still got DeAndre Hopkins who can reel in any ball. If it's thrown by a toddler, Hopkins is still going to reel it in, covered, defended 1-on-1, 2-on-1, doesn't matter. It's nuke. But Arizona's done for the season. Both teams are done for the season. Just look for Denver to look more impressive. Next up, Tennessee at Chargers. The Titans are not looking too hot. I felt they were frauds for the past 3 years. Yes, you have the best running back in the league, but look at what your throwing is like. You can't be that one-dimensional and think you're going to go deep into the playoffs or Super Bowl. The Chargers, on the other hand, Chargers were my preseason Super Bowl pick. Like, this team looked amazing. Their defense was incredible. They did nothing but improve through free agency. Herbert's insanely young. He's getting better. Same with Eckler. Eckler's looking incredible. He's almost their number one receiver and their number one running back. So, I mean, Chargers turned it on last week. Throughout the rest of the year, they've been hit or miss. You don't know what the Chargers are going to give you either. That being said, Mike Williams is back. He caught his first touchdown of the season due to injuries. And I'm taking the Chargers. I think their offense is just too powerful. I'm taking Chargers -3 in the under at 46.5. And I know Chargers defense is banged up. Nobody's going to stop Henry. Under 46. Chargers win. The defense steps up even though they've been banged up. I wish I would have made a bet for King Henry separately because I still think he's going to be able to go off. But ultimately, Chargers win by 3 or more. Under at 46. Chargers money line. We're almost done. Next up, speaking of Cincinnati being the King Henry stopper, we got Cincinnati visiting Tampa Bay. So they'll have a much easier target to stop. Rashad White in the backfield for Tampa Bay. And Cincinnati, they seem to like Samaje Perine. They're going to start using both Mixon and Perine, which is nice. Because both of them are good backs. They're serviceable backs. Do I think they're anywhere top 10? No. But they're good backs, especially Perine. He can catch out of the backfield, excluding last week. Bengals defense has been incredible. I hate to say it, but they have been incredible. Like, when you stifle Derrick Henry to 19 yards and then Nick Chubb to under 20-some, like, I may be getting those mixed up, but regardless, they went out there, they balled against the 2 best running backs in the league and didn't let them go nowhere. Tampa Bay has Tom Brady. That's the only problem. And the other problem is that Tom Brady doesn't seem to be on the same page as Mike Evans this year. Mike Evans. Godwin's been there. Godwin's been consistent, but Mike Evans hasn't been consistent. So I'm taking Cincinnati money line. I'm taking Cincinnati 3.5. A little uncomfortable at that half. If it was 3, I'd be happy to take it. But 3.5, I'm a little like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll take it. Take it because that's a better bet than Tampa Bay covering the plus 3.5. So I'm taking Cincinnati. They have offense and defense. Tampa Bay's defense, the middle of the field, looks good. Secondary, not so much. Pass rush, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So you don't know what you're going to get with Tampa Bay. But you do have to remember Tom Brady's divorce stat. Since being divorced, I think he's Only lost once or undefeated or something. I don't know. You keep seeing the memes. I didn't mark down on a calendar when he got divorced. I could care less. Over 44, Cincinnati, 3.5. Cincinnati, money line. Next up, last game on Sunday. It's the Patriots versus the Vegas Raiders. This is straight up pick 'em. The spread is gone. It's just pick 'em. So pretty much whoever I choose on my money line, betting on it twice, essentially. Over is sitting at 44.5. And that's what I'm taking. The total is sitting at 44.5. I'm taking the over. New England. Mac, he's not the guy. As much as Patriots want him to be the guy, he's not the guy. I know you want to believe that Bill Belichick can take a bum and make him into Tom Brady, but you just can't do that. And that, not to mention, they still don't have any weapons on offense. So even if you had Tom Brady, I don't think the Patriots would be looking good right now. Las Vegas, on the other hand, they have Devontae Adams. They have Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr makes you wince a little bit, but they have weapons. On defense, their defense is not... The defense is actually atrocious, but it's weird. So if you were to watch the Raiders game like this, covering parts of their defense, it'd be an entirely different game. So if I just cover it and watch the pass rush, this defense looks incredible, right? But if I cover up the pass rush and just watch the secondary, they're horrible. Horrible. Baker Mayfield should send out a thank you letter to their defense. Finally made Baker Mayfield look good this year. I mean, the defense just ran every wrong play you possibly could down the stretch in that game. This defense is awful. They can get after the ball, yes, but they can't cover at all. That being said, I'm taking Vegas still. I'm taking Vegas. What can't they do? They can't cover downfield. What can't Patriots do? They can't throw downfield. So I'm just hoping and banking on the fact that Max Crosby and company can get after Mac Jones. Get after Mac. And whatever running back Bill Belichick, whatever 2 or 3 running backs Bill Belichick decides to throw out there. Strong, Ramadre, I can't remember the other dude's name. It's anybody. I'm taking the Vegas Raiders, pick 'em and money line. Pick 'em is the spread. If you guys don't know what that means for you, it just means the line is so thin, Vegas doesn't know. It's almost up in the air. So pick one. Pick one. Pretty much turns it into a pick 'em, taking Vegas. And the over at 44. The over at 44. I think Bill Belichick will realize this defense can be leaky if they have quick passes. You can't hold on to the ball. You can't let the pass rush get to you. Throw it outside. What is Bill Belichick great at? Throwing it outside. Throwing it in the flats. Throwing it to tight ends off a block and release. That type of stuff. Bill Belichick's incredible at it. Tom Brady made a career off of it for a while. But I also think the Patriots' defense isn't good enough to stop Devontae Adams and these weapons downfield. Like I mentioned, Josh Jacobs is an animal. Skyrocketed. Number 1 running back in the league right now, in my eyes, with what he's been doing on that type of team. Granted, when you watch King Henry, does he look more impressive shoving people through the earth? Yes. But statistically and team-wise, what's around you, Josh Jacobs is the best guy right there. Finally, Monday Night Football. The Rams versus Green Bay. Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers comes in, gets injured. Love steps in, looks impressive. Aaron Rodgers comes back in, says it's mine. Nope. Mine. And Rams are just bad. I think this is a get-right game for Green Bay Packers. They need something to go their way because their season's pretty much wrapped up. Aaron Rodgers is going to need to go out on a high note in some way to make sure he feels he's good enough. If you watch any interview, Aaron Rodgers believes he himself is the it guy. The end-all, be-all. That's the feeling I get when I watch any Aaron Rodgers interviews, is that this guy is in love with himself. Which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. But you can, when you watch a couple episodes and you can tell that's what you're about, that's what you're about. That being said, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers, the lovely man himself. Green Bay -7. I'm taking it. Rams are just bad. Baker Mayfield is not going to get that bad of a defense again to play against like they did against the Raiders. Green Bay's defense is a little bit more better than that. The under at 39.5. In hindsight, this one worries me a little bit. Under at 39.5. That means both teams have to score under 20. I could see this being a 17-13 type of game. But if Aaron Rodgers clicks, he's going to click and he's going to screw me over. Okay? So be wary of that. Under at 39.5. It's either going to come right under or it's going to go way over. Okay? But those are my picks. I will reveal that in my money line and the total column for records for the Thursday and Saturday night games so far, that's 4 games total. That's 4 times 3. That's 12 bets total. I will reveal under money line and total, which is over and under, I'm undefeated. I guessed everything correct so far. Spread, we'll wait to reveal that. And that is still good, just so you guys know. That's it. Those are my picks. This is the week. Lock them in. Watch social media. The posts will be flowing. Like I said, hindsight, I should have put the Saturday night games, all 3 of those predictions, onto the recap video like I did for Thursday night's game. Just a weird week in the NFL. Should have thought about it, but didn't. You guys got them now. And if you're following social media, you still would have had the picks in time. So if you want to place the same bets, go ahead. You still had the information out there of what my opinions were. All right. That was Ballers on a Budget. This is week 15 in the NFL. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Playoff implications start popping up everywhere. Everywhere. Almost near every matchup is going to be a playoff implication somewhere at some point. So we'll dive in. We'll start watching. In the recap, we'll break down what needs to happen from here on out. There's 2, maybe 3 games left. 3 games left. So let's just start lining them up, plugging them in. Playoffs here, playoffs there. This team is out of the playoffs but have an easy schedule. Maybe they bump up. This team is currently in the playoffs, have a rough remaining schedule. Maybe they bump down. We'll get into it. We'll look into it. We'll pull up a bracket, me and you. Let's do it. Next video. So be on the lookout. Ballers on a Budget. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Like, comment. That's right. Subscribe. Peace.